All right, let's talk about something super important for anyone running a serious server, NIC teaming in Red Hat 8. You know that feeling of anxiety when you think about your critical server relying on just one single network cable? Well, you're in the right spot, because today we're going to turn that single point of failure into a rock-solid, resilient connection. I mean, really think about it. You've got your most important server, right? It's doing its thing, but its entire connection to the world, it's just one thin cable. So what happens if someone trips over that cable, or the switch port just gives up, or the network card itself decides it's had enough? Poof, it's gone. Yeah, that one cable, that's a massive problem waiting to happen. It's the definition of a single point of failure. A tiny physical issue can knock your whole server offline, kill your services, and just create a huge mess. And that's exactly what we're here to fix. So what's the solution? It's called NIC teaming, or you might hear it called link aggregation. The idea is actually pretty simple and kind of brilliant. We take multiple physical network cards, the NICs in your server, and we basically glue them together virtually. The operating system stops seeing them as separate cards and instead sees them as one big, super reliable interface. And doing this gives your network connection some serious superpowers. The biggest one, and our main focus today, is redundancy. This means if one link dies, another one just picks up the slack instantly. No downtime. You also get the bonus of potentially more bandwidth and better load balancing. It's like a win-win-win for your network. Now, to make this magic happen, RHEL uses what it calls a runner. Think of a runner as just a strategy or a mode of operation for the team. You've got a few choices. There's round robin, if you want pure speed, load balance for, balancing the load. But for what we're doing today, building a bulletproof, reliable connection, we're going to stick with active backup. It's the simplest and most direct way to get that critical redundancy. Okay, theory is great, but now it's time to actually build this thing. Let's get into the command line and create our first network team. I'll walk you through every single step so you can follow along or just see exactly how it's done. And don't worry, it's a pretty straightforward 3-step game plan. First, we'll create the main master interface. That's the virtual one. Then we'll tell our physical NICs to be slaves to that master. And finally, we just turn it all on and check our work. See? Super simple. Okay, step 1, creating the team master. We're going to use the nmcli command, which is your best friend for managing networks in RHEL. So we're telling it, con add, a new connection, its type is team, we'll name it team 0, and here's the important part. The config says the runner is active backup. That's it, one command, and our virtual team interface is born. All right, our Team 0 interface exists, but it's useless without an IP address, right? So we use nmcli con modify to give it a static IP, a gateway, the whole deal. And notice, this is really important. We're putting the IP address on Team 0 itself, not on the physical cards that will be part of it. And that right there is the golden rule you gotta remember. The master. Team 0 is the brain of the operation. It's the one that has the IP address. The physical cards, the slaves, they're just the pipes, the conduits. They just pass the data along. They don't need their own IP configs. A lot of people get tripped up on this, so really let that sink in. Okay, on to step 2. Let's add our slaves. Back to nmcli we go. This time the type is team slave. We give it a name like team 0-port 1, tell it which physical device to use, in this case ENS224, and then the magic part. We tell it who its master is, which is team 0. And then we just do the exact same thing for our second network card, ENS256. And here we are, step 3, the final step. Let's fire this thing up. First, we run nmcli con reload just to tell Network Manager, hey, pay attention, we made some changes. Then we bring everything up. nmcli con up team 0, and then we bring up each port. And just like that, our team should be active and running. But, we don't want to just assume it's working. We need to prove it. And for that, there is one command you absolutely have to know. Team decontrol, team 0 state. This is your window into the soul of your network team. It tells you everything, the health, the config, and the key piece of info, which physical port is actually active right now. Okay, so we've built it, we've checked its pulse. Now for the best part. Let's try to break it. Seriously, we're going to see what happens when things go wrong and prove that our failsafe actually failsafe. It's time to pull the plug. Well, virtually anyway. What we're about to do is the digital equivalent of walking up to the server and just ripping the active network cable right out of the port. And here's how we do it.
we use nmcli to take down the connection for Team 0 port 1. Let's pretend that's our active link. The second we run this command, the little daemon running in the background, teamd, should instantly see that the link is gone.
And boom! This is where the magic is so obvious. Check out the before and after. Before we ran the command, teamdctl's state told us the active port was ENS224. The moment we took it down, we run the command again, and look, the active port is now ENS256. It switched over automatically, instantly. It just worked. So the big question is, what did our users feel? What was the actual impact during that switchover? The answer is nothing. Zero. If you had a ping running to that server, you probably wouldn't even drop a single packet. It's that fast, that seamless. Now that is the power of active backup teaming.
All right, that demo was awesome. But now let's get serious for a minute and talk about doing this in production, in the real world. I've got a few pro tips for you that will help you avoid some common headaches.
Okay, quick list of do's and don'ts. Do use active backup for your critical servers. Do test your failover. I mean it. Test it regularly, and do use teamdctl to monitor it. Now for the don'ts. Don't forget to set the gateway on the master interface, or you won't get anywhere. And please, don't do this on your desktop PC. It's just not necessary.
You're probably going to hit a snag or two eventually, so here are the most common ones. Connection won't activate? First thing to check, do the network cards actually exist? Use IP-link show. Failover isn't working during a test? Check teamdctl state and make sure both ports show link up. Maybe one's just unplugged. And the big one, the team doesn't come up after a reboot, you almost certainly forgot to set auto-connect to yes on the master connection. So let's just do a super quick review of the whole process. 1. Install the teamd package. 2. Create the master and give it an IP. 3. Add your physical cards as slaves. 4. Activate everything. And 5. Verify with teamdctl. That's the whole shebang, from start to finish. Look, if there is only one thing you remember from all of this, please make it this right here. A backup that you haven't tested is not a backup. It's just a hope. Before this goes anywhere near a production server, you have to test the failover. You need to see it work with your own eyes. So there you have it. You now know how to take out one of the biggest single points of failure in any server setup. Your network connection is now tough, it's resilient. So I'll leave you with this thought. Now that you've fortified your network, what are you going to make stronger next?